Location. Today's video is going to be on, does it make sense to spend money on girls when you aren't in a relationship? Now, this is a conversation or topic where it's quite questionable, because you can have money and you can justify spending money on somebody, and it could be something that you don't really care about in a way. But my thing is like, what does that do? You know, because if that person, for instance, was talking to a guy and she might have really liked him, then now you're in the picture, you're buying her gifts, you know, what does that do? Does that make her feel, or does that make the relationship that she's in tense? Does that make it difficult for them? Because now she might have to raise the bar so high with that person. And if she's not doing it, is that person going to be respected? You know, we all at a young age, like I saw a video today, and the person said, you know, girls don't appreciate it if you buy them a Coach bag. You know, the guy went on to say, you know, his parents, his dad bought his mum, or they're both living in a 7-bedroom house with a swimming pool. She's got many Chanel bags, and you know, and he asked her, mum, like, what would you say if dad bought you a Coach bag? He said, of course, it will depend on the design and whether she'll like the bag, of course, but ultimately she said she'll appreciate it, you know? So these are the things where, like, there's people who are our age, younger, I'm 26, people 25, 24, 23, in their 20s, early teenagers as well, who wouldn't even appreciate a Chanel bag. And it's quite obvious that they might not even be able to really even afford to buy themselves a Louis Vuitton bag, which is not that much more expensive, realistically, an extra 1,000, or, you know, even if they don't even own a Chanel bag. So then to say you don't want a Coach bag or someone bought it for you, are these fair on dating, you know? You know, it's just one of the things where you kind of just are shocked, because now it's like, okay, dating, is it materialistic, or do you need to earn a lot of money, or what is it? You know, because why is it this difficult to be in a relationship and make it work? What is it going to take for somebody to actually appreciate you for you? You know, and of course, a lot of people are in relationships right now and their partners don't respect them. You know, I was in a similar relationship in the past where, you know, I was spending money, ridiculous amount of money on gifts, you know, bags or whatnot, like trainers and whatnot. Spent quite a lot of money. But that relationship didn't work because I realized that she hadn't healed from her past, of course. And it just didn't help the situation, because sometimes you'll get into a disagreement, and would the person be willing to have a conversation about it? Some people aren't, some people are. And unfortunately, she was one of the ones that wasn't, you know, and it's like, I'm very open to communicating, and very open to, obviously, compromise is something that, you know, most people would have to kind of make in certain scenarios, especially with an argument with a woman. You're not always going to win an argument. Some people generally don't like arguing, and it's a thing where, like, most people don't argue in relationships, so you just have to compromise. So if you're in a relationship now, the dynamics now, and you know, a Coach bag won't even put a smile on her face because she wants Chanel and she can't afford to buy herself Chanel. These are the things you have to consider when dating, because I ain't gonna lie to you, if you have someone that isn't materialistic and they're happy and they're loving of you without you having to buy it, be grateful, because if you did buy it, they love you so much, like, no joke. Even if they could afford to buy it times 10 on their own. These are the small things I appreciate, like, and they should appreciate it as well. My personal opinion, regardless of whether it's Coach, Louis Vuitton, Chanel, even if it's a super dry bag, yeah, appreciation and making you feel like your gift is sentimental, is worth it, you know. And unfortunately, you know, relationships in today's day and age, well, I'm not speaking for everyone else, I'm just speaking for myself, but I did see something else where, you know, someone said, if a guy approached you and he was interested, he was good looking, but you earned 170k a year, but he was a manager for Chipotle, would you date him? She said no, because his lifestyle wouldn't align with hers, and if she wanted to go on holiday on this week Tuesday, he wouldn't be able to go because he's a manager. And the other guy was just like, what? She said she goes on 6 holidays a year. Obviously, she was talking about she's been in rappers or athletes. Of course, if she was in a relationship in the past, the bar was set even way higher. It's so many political things, guys. Honestly, it's not easy. to find somebody and be in a relationship with somebody, because there's so many things. Like, all it takes is one disagreement for her to be like, damn, like, you know. So the reality is, guys, honestly, I'm still figuring it out myself. So at some point, you know, when I figure it out, guys, I'll have more gems or keys for you guys. But ultimately, you know, I'm still trying to work on my relationships and a relationship, in fact, or something that I'm trying to do and whatever. And if it works, it works. If it don't work out, then I'm good, regardless. So, you know, if it works, it works. I'm happy right now. I'm content. My YouTube channel's great. You know, I'm in a space right now where I would say I'm mentally, even physically, of course, and financially ready to be in a relationship, of course. So, you know, if that aligns with someone else that is on the same level, then of course I'm willing to ask that person to be my girlfriend and see where it goes. So, you know, use me as an example and don't rush into it. If you're willing to get to know someone, be able to take them out on a date, of course, try something fun, whether it's going out bowling or whether it's going up to STK or Nobu or Hakkasan or doing something, be able to do it consistently, and don't do anything out of your means that you can't do consistently. Because if you introduce her to a vibe, be able to do that consistently. You know, don't take her to Hakkasan if you can't take her to Hakkasan in 2 weeks or a week from then. No, to take her out on a date every week, have that kind of money. And if you wanted to take her to a cafe or take her for a walk and stop to get something like fruits, whatever it might be, or ice cream, and it's only £30 or £20 or even £15, you know, try and practice doing that consistently as well, so you can kind of keep that relationship, you know, at least you can remember what you guys did on the first date, and it's something that's fun, rather than something that isn't just, it's out of your means, you can't really afford it, you know. And when I say can't afford it, I mean if you're earning between 20 and 30,000 a year, it doesn't make no sense to go and spend £300 to £400 in a restaurant, guys. If that's your only stream of income, don't do that. I know we want to impress, of course, but it don't make no sense, guys. So I want to say thank you for watching. It was a short video, but I just want to make you guys content every day. Yeah, probably gonna post 2 videos today, but of course I do post shorts, so if you haven't already, check out my shorts. I want to say thank you for watching. Peace.